We talk about 7 proven tactics. Let's detail each tactic and how it can help in managing the annoying worker or the annoying team. Prevent energy suck.
That's the most important, right? That is the drain, that's the trap. This is about, and this is really, aside from me being annoying, why I started to write the book, because I coach and work with CEOs and teams, and I would find they knew how to solve the business problems, right? Maybe there was a process problem or a piece missing, but with a little help, they're good at their business. They know how to solve their business. But it was those questions I'd be stuck with. Why, after that meeting, can I not be productive for the rest of the day? Why do the real meetings happen in my office after the meeting? How come every time I meet with my, the director of this program, I feel drained, and I meet with this one and I feel enlightened? So what are those differences? And it came down to those annoying people and how you relate to them. So preventing the energy suck is a bunch of tactics that help you as the manager be more honest. One of my favorites is what I call the peer meeting format. Instead of meeting one-on-one with someone who sucks your energy and drives you crazy and starts to get you aggravated and, get you unfocused, pair them with a peer. Someone that, it doesn't even have to be someone in the same line of work, just someone else maybe who touches their work or knows them, or maybe they're a handoff situation. One does sales, one does fulfillment, it could be like that. Have them meet together with you, and that keeps you more honest and in line in the meeting. And it's a slippery slope. Once we start to be annoyed, right, we said the physiological responses, our blood pressure's up, our pupils are up, we're aggravated, we're going down that trail, right? All of a sudden, nothing's right for lunch, this didn't work, that project's not good. So if you can keep from falling into that trap, that you're irritated, then you're going to be more productive in general.
Are you kind of in that situation matching personalities? If it's the Debbie Downer, maybe you're inviting someone who's so enthusiastic in that peer meeting.
Yeah, Vanessa, that's a perfect point, because management is really an art, not a science. And it's really about how can I put two things together and make them more? How can I put two things together that don't naturally fit but are going to work in a different way? And the key is to model that behavior. Just as the boss, you never want to react. You want to model how you treat everyone. You want to show your employees, if you're causing me problems, I want to show you what someone who I react positively does. So it changes the whole dynamic in that way.
Change the relationship dynamic, which leads right into that next point. How do you change that relationship dynamic as the boss with that annoying worker?
It really starts with a conversation. At this point, we all know about I conversations. I feel, I do, I react. This is taking that a little further, and it's really modeled on Susan Scott's Fierce Conversations, which is, it's not just talk about how I react, explain the value of what that means to the company. So when I react to you because you interrupted meetings, that impacts the whole team. When the team can't focus, we're not solving problems and we're missing our quarterly marks, or we're not getting this project out the door, or this is falling behind. So tie it back to the business goals and what's not happening in the team. Not only do I get annoyed, but the entire team loses focus. Do you realize you're having that impact? Most people do not. So it's direct conversation.
That's funny. So you think a lot of annoying people don't realize they're annoying?
I got to talk about my sister. She called me yesterday. She's a compliance officer in a very large hospital system in the South, a very important job. And she said, and we had just spent the holiday together, and she said to me, I realized something I never did before. I said, what? She goes, my boss is annoyed with me. I think I'm coming in and telling her, here's the details, here's what I did, here's what I found at this clinic. I'm telling her what has to be done, and she's like, why are you giving me all these details? She's actually annoyed at me. It's not that she doesn't like me. I'm, giving her too much information. She wants a nice, tidy report on her desk with what's happening next and a plan of action. She doesn't want all of this drama. So I do not think most people know you are annoying them.
Set no fear boundaries.
We all strive for team engagement. Team engagement is one of the most critical aspects of business. We're finding that more and more. All the studies are benchmarking that engagement is critical to business success. What happens, especially if we work in close quarters and projects, as the leader, we want to be one of the team. We want to always them to feel that they know who we are and to value us. The lines, the boundaries get murky. And when there's a problem, the first thing that happens is all eyes are on you. The team is going to shift focuses from palling around and being nice to, what do you think, boss? You have to solve this problem. You have to keep that boundary front and center all the time. You know, I like to use the example of bears. You know, bears know when you're scared. They know when you're prey. So does your staff. Your staff can spot a weakness and can spot, when you, when you're not at your best. And if you don't draw those boundaries all the time, they will cross them, and then that makes everything blurry. They can spot when you're on your way to lose control. They can spot, that's why it's all about the trap of reactions. And, it's human nature. People want to use that to their advantage. They want to figure out what they can do with it. So those boundaries of, this is, I go back to that movie Dirty Dancing, this is my workspace, this is your workspace. Here's the line. Doesn't mean you can't be friendly. It doesn't mean you can't tell jokes. It doesn't mean you can't be collegial. But knowing this is the line, and there are no dotted lines, right? It's not like sometimes or maybe. It's really about this is the line and it does not get crossed.
Guard your time.
This is my favorite. I'm obsessed with it. Time is the only thing we can't make more of. If I look back in my career, the thing I sometimes I have a regret is when I gave up too much time to deal with a troubled employee, someone that was annoying me, or a project that I knew in my gut was a failure. Or just because I didn't know how to say someone, that was 15 minutes, I have a meeting, I have to go. Or I didn't have a clock that was accessible. Or I didn't set out the agenda at the front of the meeting and saying, this is what we have to accomplish today. Now, you must be able to pivot. You must be able, when your team comes to you with issues and problems that they want to solve right then, be able to be flexible to answer it. But using agendas, this is truly, truly back to basics. And I just wrote a blog on this. Using agendas, involving people in agendas, sending out a timetable are critical skills, especially in this gig economy where usually 2 to 3 people are going to be remote on a team meeting and need to understand, what exactly is going to happen and what they're contributing. So guarding your time and showing your employees that you honor their time is very, very important for your relationship, and also it empowers your employees. If they know how much time, what to count on, it makes them feel better about how you value them, which breeds empowerment, which breeds success.
Monitor your nonverbal body language.
There is so much information, and there are so many experts on this, but I like to take 2 facts out of this. Your eyes process information 30 times more than anything else in your system. So if I'm sitting like this, if I'm like this, if I'm on my phone, that sends a signal, a huge signal to the other person about how I'm engaged or not. So the nonverbal behavior, the reactions, even if you think, that's interesting, but you're like, that's interesting, right? Your staff can tell, and they know that you are reacting to them. I talk a lot in this one about the smile. Smile with me, you have a great smile. When you smile, it changes your entire body position and outlook. Talk before about when someone starts to steal your energy, if you go down that path, it kind of colors your whole day, right? What happens next, lunch, nothing's good after you're aggravated. The opposite is true too. I'm lazy. It takes less muscles to smile than frown, so it's the easy way out. But when you smile, it does change your entire body posture and outlook. And when you start to smile at your annoying staff instead of clenching, first of all, it makes them wonder what you've been up to. So right away, you're changing the relationship down. Okay, she didn't used to react to me this way. Why is she smiling? Okay, something's going on. But that also helps to change the dynamic. But how you communicate through your body tells everything you need to know.
Build consistency.
This is not something you could do once or twice. Once you have that conversation with your team and you say, I'm going to manage this differently, once you realize that someone is annoying you and stealing your energy, you have to be vigilant about it. You have to be reliable and consistent. Now, we talked a little about engagement and how important that is for success in business. The other side of engagement is trust. That your employees know that what you're going to do, they can trust you to do it again, they can trust your actions, and they know how you're going to react. So being consistent builds that trust. So they know how to react to you. They know in a team meeting that it's safe to say an off-the-wall idea because it might be the right idea and you're going to be open to it. They know that they can have a conversation with you about something you're not comfortable with because you're going to act calmly to them. So that whole thing about building consistency is really about building trust. And once again, back to your behavior. How do you monitor what you do and how you do it?
No busy is better?
This is my favorite. One of the things we talked a lot earlier about what's one of my secrets to success. I bring the joy wherever I go. If there's not laughter, if there's not humor, which is a big part of purpose and passion, right? What are we doing? This is where you as the manager start to bring back your personality and your fun. So knowing busy is better is how do we get our employees who are annoying us to actually work for the entire organization. Some of the topics in this chapter are the greater good and my personal favorite, the Easter hunt, the Easter egg search. So here's where you start to say, okay, I got an annoying person. She takes the quarterly report to the performance reports and redoes them. She rejiggers every line. I don't know what she does to them, right? But she totally slices and dices them and says, look how much better my department's doing. And look at this information and look at me. Now that's an annoying superstar. She's clearly performing, but at the same time, she's putting it right in my face. So what happens? The first time she gives me the reports, I'm like, wow, this is interesting. The second time, I'm like, still interesting. The third time, I'm like, this is annoying. I can't compare it to any other divisions. She's spending time doing this. Why isn't she doing X, Y, and Z, even though she's getting all her work done? This is annoying. So instead of being annoyed at it, I'm going to make it work for the greater good. I'm going to make her be busy. I'm going to task her with going to every department and doing what she did with those reports for every department. Now, this is where the smile comes in. She's going to say, you want me to meet with everybody? I'm like, yes. Let me know how that goes. Let me know. So this is where I'm getting her off my back, which I really like because, she's pinging me, she's talking to me, she's sending me these reports. I'm doing that thing that we talked about with the peers. I'm helping her peers to see her in a different way. She's always bringing up these reports and how she did them. I don't know what she's talking about. They're now going to get some insight about why did she do it that way? What does it mean? What can I learn? And I'm going to get something that can help the whole company. Be busy is better. It's for everyone's greater good.
And just to take it further, suppose she does it. Now she's what we call it, you consider a martyr, because now I've done it for everybody or something.
That is such an interesting point because how do you keep, when you start to empower people, how do you keep them from being martyrs? She's not the martyr. She is doing her job for the company. This is an economic contract. It's not poor you, I'm the workplace martyr, look how hard I'm working. That is more of a culture fit problem, and that really comes from some of her own shortcomings. Usually people that are martyrs have unfulfilled wishes or issues, about who they are, being a trained social worker. But so it's about the empowering for her and letting her see her role with the whole company. It's elevating her. It actually does the opposite of making her be the martyr because before it was like, oh yeah, there are Sue's reports. Oh my God, Sue's reports, right? It let everyone talk about it. Now it's like, oh, I understand Sue's reports. Wow, Sue helped me with her reports. I want to figure out how to do those reports and not just have her. So, that's part of it. You don't want to create, there's Vanessa and I were talking before the interview, and there are some cartoons in the book, and she loves them. There's one cartoon that says, let's keep this problem going as long as we can, because every time we solve it, a new one it crops up. You don't want to solve your problems with making new problems. So that conversation about, this is annoying, this is how I feel about your reports, this is why I'm giving it to you, and go free and do that, because that's going to help everyone, and that's what this workplace is about. That's our culture about. How do we do a better job? How do we help others? And how can we have more success and profits? So you're adding to that.